So I'm in western North Carolina. I'm on the Upper Nantahala, and as you can see, this is pocket water heaven right here. See a lot of bugs flying around. This just looks amazing. I probably caught, good Lord, there's midges all over the top of the water there. I probably caught about 5 so far, and my truck is literally right there. Okay, this pocket right here looks really good. There's some depth there at the tail out. Not a lot of room to work, but it just looks very good. That's a good cast. There we go. Look at that little guy. Pretty little wild rainbow. Gorgeous fish. There we go. Another little wild bow. Cute little guy. This little plunge pool looks really nice. You've got this little soft spot in there. There is some depth. I do expect the fish to be in there. What's nice about fishing pocket water like this is you can really get into position and get a lot closer to the holes just because the water's broken up. Oh, he hit it. First cast. There we go. A lot of these little bows. Well, there's smaller ones, there's bigger ones though. There we go. Oh, stacked in there. Just stacked. I don't know if you can tell how windy it is. I got a 3-3 bead on just to fight this wind, and it really provides a nice anchor. I can pop it in these holes like I want and not have the wind screw my drift up. Typically in water like this, I would probably fish 1 2.8 bead, but the wind, you know, you just got to compensate for the wind. I started out that way. I caught a couple, but ever since I switched over, I just noticed I was getting better drifts, and so it seems to be the ticket so far. And I switched over to this blowtorch, and man, they are nailing this thing. I just have a single nymph on. I don't know if you saw that riser. The rainbow. I have a single nymph on. It's just when you're fishing, you hit it. When you're fishing in pocket water like this, you're just going to be much more accurate using one nymph. Everybody just assumes you got to use 2 nymphs when you're Euro nymphing, and that's not the case. You know, if you've got 2 nymphs on, you can see you got fast current, slow current, fast current. A lot of times when you throw out, you've got your dropper hitting in the fast current, your point fly hitting in the slower current, then the fast current's going to rip your fly or your point fly out of the pocket you're actually trying to fish. So you're going to have better luck when you're just fishing a single nymph in pocket water like this. Fantastic. That is the meat of the run is up there. It just looks really good, but we're going to fish this out right here. It's a little bit shallower. There's a lot of bugs. There's a caddis that just landed on the water. I have been seeing a few risers. Oh, how do you miss those hits? How do you miss those ones that they literally tug back? There we go. There we go. It's a different fish. There's a rock right there. There's got to be one on the other side of that ledge there. Get in position. Oh, that's a good drift. There we go. Look at that. Right where I thought he'd be. There we go. Nice wild brownie. There we go. Brown. I did a nice tuck cast up there, and my bugs got right on the other side of that rock, and he nailed it. Good stuff. There's got to be more fish than that one in there. That's a really good drift right there. Really good drift. Still good. Right on this edge. There we go. Look at that. Oh, it's a big fish. Oh, ah. That was a nice fish. Boy, you gotta love it when you can extend the drift. And I had it going right down this seam. That was beautiful. I let him get below me. That was my fault. See if we can nail another one out of there. I'm in the perfect spot right here, standing. Go right down this edge again. Oh, that is just beautiful. Still beautiful. Right there I get kicked out. Nice drift. There we go. Boy, that was a good hit. Nice jump of the cider. It's just fast water. Just put that down or that upstream side pressure on it. He'll come right up in that fast current. Look at that nice wild brownie. Just going right through there. Some nice depth, and my cider just shot upstream just a little. It's nice stuff. This is a great hole. There's got to be more fish up at the head too. I'm going to try to reposition around this rock, stand here, and make a better cast. Okay, I just repositioned, so I should be able to hit this pretty decent here. Nice tuck cast. There we go. Look how many times I casted and brought it through there. But what it was is, no, maybe let's get this fish in here. Stalker brookie. So what it was I was able to cast up there, and I gave my bugs a chance to get down to the bottom, and clearly that fish needed it on the bottom. Not a bad stalker. Let's see if I can snake one out of here. There we go. There we go. Get him in the net, little wild rainbow. Cute little guy, cute looking fish. Now I just repositioned on this hole. So I can get a better drift here. Get a more vertical drift on that other seam. There we go. It's a little native brookie right here. So what I did here is I was in front of that big rock right there, and I made an upstream cast, and I was raising my rod and bringing it back towards me, but there's some depth in there, and what it was doing is, I mean, I caught a fish that way, but I got it more at the tail out in the shallower end, and I just wasn't getting it down. So I just walked up here and I repositioned, and when you've got turbulent water like this, you know, you can get a little closer. I mean, you can't get on top of it, but you know, so my rod is 10 feet and it's probably 15 feet out in front of me, but I was able to elevate my rod and get my sighter vertical, and he was right at the bottom of that pool. Don't be afraid to reposition, but just don't, you know, you want to be stealthy about it. You just can't walk up to the back here. You got to come to the side, leave some turbulence between you and the pool you're trying to fish. I've seen 2 fish rise right here. I've been seeing that a lot. I might have to go to a dry dropper. That's the only negative when you get into a little bit slower holes like this. When you're using that single nymph, your bug, if there's any fish looking up and they're up in the column, you're just going to go right underneath, and a trout is not going to tip down to go after a fly. It's either going to go left, right, or up. There we go. Look at that. It was in the slower water. Rookie. A lot of stalker brookies in here. Good looking stalkers though. Just going to reposition myself to fish this a little better. In that little crease over there on that edge. There we go. All about placement. Little wild brownie. Where? Oh, here we go. Nice little wild brownie. Tell you what, they're liking this blowtorch. I started out with a Butano Perdigon, caught a couple, had a small waltz on, caught a couple, and I switched over to this, and they've been hammering this thing. All about the drift. Got it right on that edge. That's a nice drift. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Got it on the swing. Good Lord. Pure luck. Was that pure luck? Another brookie. Sometimes better be lucky than good. I have a really short piece of tippet on. I have 3 feet, that's it. I like a short piece of tippet when I'm in pocket water like this, because you can get connected to it a lot quicker. And if I get into a little bit deeper water, I'll just dunk my sighter. But your drifts are really quick, and especially when you're trying to hit it in little creases like that, you got to be tight to your flies right away, and you can't have a lot of tippet on. So I switched over to a dry dropper. I'm just seeing a lot of fish coming up, and I can hit these pockets pretty well with the dry dropper. It's like, if I can get a chance to get them on top, I'm going to do that for sure. Got the old corn-fed caddis, my fave. Hit it with a little frog fanny. Be good to go. Got a little size 18 waltz on the dropper. I think they're going to be over there a little bit more. There we go. Right in that tail out. Little wild rainbow. Pretty little guy. Right in that tail out. Just before it dumped over. People always pick it up before that. That's a good little spot. Always fish that tail out. Let that bug go all the way to the end. There we go. There we go. A better wild bow. And once again, while you use a net, there we go. I got 2 casts, 2 fish. Now faster current. Let's net this guy. You know, even those little fish, I mean, look how many times I've messed around with catching a nice, pretty wild bow. Look at that guy. And, you know, I'm farting around trying to grab it, and it gets off or gets tangled. So much easier, just put it in the net. Just put it in the net. See, I love casting the dry dropper with the Euro rig. It just lands so delicately. And this is, you know, I'm making 20. That's a, you know, that cast was over 20 feet right there. That was a 25-foot cast right there. Here's a little bit deeper. I think one's going to be in here. Ooh, he nailed it. Hit the dropper. There we go. There he is. Brookie. Stalkers need love too. There's gotta be another fish in there. There we go. Same spot. Oh, brownie. Thank you, Mr. Brown. See this pool right here, a lot of depth. And I caught both of those fish right on that same edge on the far side. I suspect there's probably more. There's so much depth in there. Look at that, stacked in there, stacked. There. That's awesome. There you go. The size 18 wallets they're hitting. It's got a little orange collar on it. That's a good grip. There we go. There we go. Three little wild rainbows. Pretty little guys. That up there looks really nice. You got this really nice tail out. But I'm going to hit this over here first. This has a little depth. I expect the fish to be here. It's a good drift right there. Ah, might have been, I don't know if that was a fish or the bottom. There we go. That's a decent fish. Right in that tail out too. Pretty wild bow. Boy, they might not be big, but boy, they're sure pretty. Look at that guy. He's been caught a few times. You know, if you look at this run right here, if that's what you want to call it. See, these, I love these, I call them slow eddies. You can see that the rock breaks it up and it just slow, you got nice moving water, but it's slow. And that thing hit right at the tail out. And what's funny is when you look at it, the better water looks here, but yet that fish was right there. Just don't neglect the tail outs. They hold a lot of fish, especially when there's a lot of bug activity. They'll get stacked right at the below. This area right here looks pretty nice. Some depth over there. There we go. Damn, he's pretty. Look at the paw marks on that guy. Boy, he is pretty. Just shows you when you start seeing a lot of risers, boy, especially in pocket water, it's made for dry dropper. I've only had like one hit the dry, but they're hitting that nymph because they're up off the bottom. There's just a ton of bug activity now. This is probably nymphing water, but let's just hit it with the dry dropper first. A lot of depth through here. We're gonna go ahead and switch that up right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my dropper off. I'm gonna put a heavier bug on the bottom and just leave the tag on the top. Okay, so what I did there is I actually did stick with a double nymph rig because this is really deep water and I can nymph this with 2 bugs easily. I put a 3-3 on the bottom, a size 16 blue Perdigon, and I still have that size 18 Waltz. I moved that to the dropper up top. So let's see if we can bang one out of here. It just looks really fishy. There we go. There we go. Boy, you got right there in the swing too. Right there in the swing. It's a pretty wild bow. He hit the blue Perdigon, that 16. These bows are really pretty. There we go. Oh, look at that. Both of those fish came right in front of that rock. Whoa! That was cool. He was a jumper. Boy, these are good drifts I'm getting in here. There we go. Better fish. There we go. Now he hit the dropper. There we go. Look at that. God. He hit the dropper. God, these are pretty bows. All par marked up. That guy. All right, where's your mom? Now I'm going to take a couple steps up and I can fish this out in front of me a little better. Going to give my bugs a chance to swing right below me, in front of me. That's a terrible cast. Oh, look at that. I hope you saw that on camera. Right off of that rock. Take a couple steps up. The bugs get the depth right in front of me. That's all it is sometimes it's just repositioning. A little more. Let's get over there. If I can get it down that edge on the other side, that would be really nice. It's not bad. There we go. Oh, this is a nice fish. This is a nice fish. Brownie. Felt bigger. Felt a lot bigger. a good looking run right out in front of me. Got some depth. There we go. First cast too. Cute little wild bow. Boy, he's a fatty. Damn, he's been eating well. Man, he has been eating. Look at that fatty. Good looking fish. He hit the blue perdigon. Look at this area. Well, I tell you what, there's not a bridge hole in any trout stream in the world. A bridge hole is gonna have fish. They just do. Okay, it's got some nice depth to it. Oh God, he nailed it. He nailed it. Just saw a riser below me. Get it vertical. There we go. It's funny how I was able to fish this water with the dropper, and sure as heck they're hitting the dropper now. Little stalker brookie. Get that sighter vertical right there. There. Oh, nailed it. Vertical right there. This is the type of water where you can just get your sighter right out in front of you and just get it vertical right there. Just keep, I want to get on that other side there. Look at that. Kidding me? There we go. I don't know if you could tell on the camera, but I was just animating it a little bit, just in that slower water. A little wild bow. Pretty guy. So just in that slower water, I saw a fish rise, and I let it swing through, and I just jigged it a little bit, and he nailed it. So I'm going to be calling it quits. I had a really great afternoon. I fished probably 4 hours or so. Did really well. I mean, I lost count how many I caught. Nothing of any size, but I caught a lot of pretty wild rainbows, a couple wild brownies, and then a slew of these stock brook trout in here. I think I caught one native brookie as well. Just did a lot of single nymphing in the beginning. You know, this Nantahala is a beautiful stream, and it's pocket water heaven here, the Upper Nanty. But it was really windy, and I went to a size 14 blowtorch and had a 3-3 bead, and that really seemed to be the ticket. I mean, I caught a lot on that. It helped with the wind, and it just helped with my accuracy. And then I started noticing a lot of risers, so I switched over to a dry dropper. I had one hit on the dry, but I caught quite a few on a size 18 waltz worm with an orange collar. And then I moved upstream some more, and you can see this water in here, it was much more conducive to a double nymph rig, so I put a size 16 blue perdigon on the bottom and I moved that 18 waltz to the dropper, and I split them probably 50-50. I had really good luck up here, but just a really fun day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Also would appreciate if you would subscribe, and as always, tight lines, everybody. See you later.